Welcome back. We've been talking about being young, educated, and broke, and I'm with my guests Nataly, Jackie, and Sheryl. And one of the things about having a job is you need to have a great resume. So Sheryl, who's an HR consultant, she's going to give us some tips on resume writing. Give us the top 10, Sheryl, on what a good resume has.
Well, when you think about it, your resume is a critical piece in your job search, and it's the first impression that you give an employer. So you have to make your impression by selling yourself, and you have to do that from the right perspective. Not only do you want to play up your best attributes and talk about what kind of contributions you can make to their organization, you have to do it from the perspective of how can I meet your needs, because we all want a job, we all want certain things in our, we all want certain things out of our job, but when you're looking to be part of an organization, you have to say what you can do for them. So when you're putting your resume together,
okay, so the first one is your best foot forward.
Put your best foot forward, absolutely.
Okay, next.
Always be truthful.
For real.
because they're going to verify.
Right.
You know, background check is going to turn up everything.
Okay.
So next, you don't focus on your accomplishments. Don't just use your resume as a list of things. Talk about what you actually accomplished, what you were able to contribute. If you saved money, say so. If you improved a process, say so.
Right.
Tailor your resume to the job that you're looking for.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
It's really important, because if you send out a generic resume, that's not going to talk about how you're going to be able to meet their needs. If you specify what it is you're looking for and what you can do for them, then they're going to see how you can be a fit for their organization.
Sheryl, focus on some don'ts, some quick don'ts that you should not have on a resume.
Don't have misspellings. Don't have the wrong company. Don't use any text speak. LOL, OMG. They don't want to see that in a resume. We don't want to see colored paper, any fragrance, because yes, it's going to draw attention to your resume, but not in the way you'd hope. It's actually going to look a little bit unprofessional.
So what makes a resume stand out?
A resume that has, I think, a very strong objective, a good summary of your qualifications. That's because those are going to be usually at the top of the resume, and if you tell us, you know, in the first part of the page what you can do for us and your strongest points, then that's going to really stand out.
How far back should you go when it comes to experience? When you're listing like the list of jobs that you've gone, like how far back should you go, and when is it like unnecessary to go back?
10 years, no more than 10 years. If they want to know more, they'll ask.
What if you don't have a lot of job experience? Like, let's say you're coming out of college. What are some of the things you can put on your resume that would assist you if you don't have a lot of paid experience, I guess I should say?
Volunteer experience is actually a very valuable thing to put on there, because usually if you have an interest in a specific field, somebody always needs help. And so if you have volunteered in any capacity, that's relevant to what you're looking for, definitely put it on there.
What about pictures on your resume? Do or don't?
Absolute don't.
I have a question. Like, what about gaps in your history of employment? Say if you were working for like 5 years straight and then you took 2 years off for some sort of reason. Like, a lot of times they want explanations for that. And what if you feel like it might make you look bad? Like, say if you just feel like you couldn't find a job.
So like if you have gaps, what do you do about that?
Well, you do need to be prepared to explain what those gaps are, but hopefully if you do have a gap, you've managed to fill, you've used the time to educate yourself or get some additional training or brush up on your skills or volunteer. Usually if you've done that, then that's definitely going to help your cause.
Now with the recession, or with people having a hard time finding a job, embellished resumes might be popular. Talk a little bit, because you said be truthful. How can a person embellish their resume?
Well, you can include training or degrees you may not have, or that might be in progress, but that you might almost have. That's not a good idea to do. You don't want, and you also don't want to put on job duties that don't in any way resemble the job you do.
Right.
Because again, employers are going to check, and if they find out that you've embellished or been untruthful in any way, then they're probably going to look at you as someone who would be dishonest within the organization, and it's going to hurt your chances.
One of the things I've noticed a lot of companies look into with a resume, hand in hand, a cover letter. So how important is a cover letter to
the process?
Yeah. The cover letter is actually very important, because it gives you the opportunity to say things that your resume doesn't say. You know, if you have duties that you listed in the resume, you can talk about what the impact of those were or how you were able to accomplish those in the cover letter. And your enthusiasm can show through, and so can your attitude and your motivation.
So you can show more personality in the cover letter.
So Sheryl, as we're wrapping this up, what's one tip that you would give to somebody looking for a job these days?
Never give up.
And network.
Absolutely, because a lot of jobs are actually gotten by talking to someone, meeting people, and making an impression on them.
Sheryl, thank you so much for joining us. You can always come back to Every Way Woman.
Thank
you. And we want to thank our special guests today, Nataly,
thank you,
Doris, Marie, and Meg Flynn. And we also want to thank our viewing audience for joining us today. And if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, or if you'd like to be on our show, you can email producer@everywaywoman.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website. Until next time, you know what the question is. Are you an everyday woman? Good night.